Zara, tell me about yourself, about your dream to fly around the world.
I've been flying my whole life. I'm very lucky. Both my parents are pilots. I grew up around aviation, and it was always a dream to fly around the world. So here I am in Magadan, flying around the world, and it's been amazing.
Who are your parents? Tell me about your family.
So I have a father and mother. Both are pilots. And then I also have a younger brother. He's a pilot too. He's 16. And we've been flying. We fly all the time together. We always like to go on adventures. And that's where my passion for aviation came from. And yeah, adventure, everything adventure.
When did you decide to fly around the world?
So I have been thinking about this for forever, but it only became a reality not long ago. But maybe we started planning for this maybe 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and it went very quickly.
And where did you start from?
I started my trip in Belgium, which is where I'm from.
Tell me more about your route. Which countries and cities have you already flown through?
So I left from Belgium in August and I headed to the west. It's been amazing. I flew over an active volcano in Iceland, which was beautiful. Did a transatlantic, so I went over Greenland and Canada, amazing countries. And then I headed south and that was quite tricky. So I went to Colombia, a lot of thunderstorms around. It's quite bumpy, quite turbulent. Before that I was in New York City. So I got to fly straight over Central Park and the Statue of Liberty. And there's a lot of challenges. In California, there were many wildfires. So it was very hard to see. It smelled like smoke. So that was hard. And then I finally got to Alaska. And I was stuck there for a month because of bad weather, because of some delays with my visa. And yeah, so it's taken a while, but I'm finally in Russia after coming from Anadyr and then Magadan. That was a long 6-hour flight, but it was beautiful. It was really good.
In 1964, when the Beatles first came to the United States on tour, at a press conference they were asked the question, "How do you discover America?" Ringo Starr joked in response, "We fly to Greenland and turn left." How did you discover Magadan?
Magadan, keep heading southeast from Anadyr and then you'll hit Magadan at one point. I was following the coast basically for a lot of it. Magadan was there, and it was a good city to land in. It was on my route, and it was big and it was good, and so I came here.
How did the Magadan people meet you, and did you find new friends here?
Right, yes.
Tell me about that.
The people are very nice, very kind. And yes, I'd like to think I met some new friends. I'm staying with a family that have been very kind and are giving me food and a bed and tea. And so yeah, that's through friends of friends usually. That way I can find people to stay with that I kind of know through other people.
We're talking in the training center Delta Avia. You have already managed to get to know its instructors and students here. How do you like our School of Young Pilots?
Right, so this is a virtual flying school. So this is a Delta aircraft. So it's pretty fun. I just tried it out. I crashed the first time, but managed to land the second time. And then there's another virtual reality simulator to fly some planes. So I just flew over my home. So I was flying in Brussels with the simulator. So that was fun, seeing my home again. And yeah, so it's really cool. I love the decoration. It's great teaching kids how to fly.
Where are you going tomorrow? What is your further route?
Tomorrow I am flying to Khabarovsk. It's a long flight. It's like 8 hours. So a very long flight. But then it's a short flight the next day.
Zara, tell me about your plane.
I am flying a Shark. It's a microlight. Only 2 people can sit inside, but for mine it's only 1 because in the back there's another fuel tank for extra fuel. It's very quick, 150 knots, that's about 300 kilometers per hour. and I really like it. It's very small, but it's great, and it goes quickly, so I can get places without wasting too much time.
Zara, you are currently traveling through Russia. What do you know about our country, its inhabitants,
Right.
and what do you know about the connections between your country and Russia?
So I don't know very much about Russia because this is my first time visiting. So far it's been really cool. I really like your country. I hope to see some more of your country in the future. I'd love to go see the capital, Moscow, St. Petersburg. And Magadan has been really fun as well. But it's quite far away from my home. It's really far away.
Do you have any special purpose, perhaps a certain mission in this journey?
I'm hoping to encourage more girls to go into aviation. So at the moment, only 5% of commercial pilots are women, which isn't much. So I'm hoping to help change that and have some more girls start flying.
Do you have a dream, and what is it?
Right. So next year I'm hoping to go to university, and then one day a dream is to become an astronaut or cosmonaut. But yeah, I'll go to space. I would love that.
What would you like to wish the boys and girls who are engaged in our Magadan Aviation Center, Delta Avia?
I would say just go for it. If it's your dream to fly, just try and find opportunities. And whenever you get an opportunity, seize it, go for it, give it a shot, and work hard. And then it'll pay off. Flying is a beautiful thing, and you get to see some of the most amazing views. And I really recommend it.
Were there any difficulties in the flight from Alaska to Chukotka and to Magadan?
It is quite difficult because it's a very small plane, so it can't fly very high, which means that if something goes wrong and the engine stops or for any reason I have to land, I can't land because there's nothing. It's just snow and ice, so it's very, very cold there. So I couldn't, it was safe, but if something went wrong, I had a big problem.
Wasn't it scary to fly alone through such extensive desert areas in the north?
Sometimes I do get nervous, especially when I can't land anywhere in case of an emergency. So coming here from Anadyr, you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking if something goes wrong, I can't really do anything. And so sure, there's some stressful moments, but you learn to deal with those and they're fine.
If you are so successful in dealing with your own fears, can you call yourself a brave person?
I like to say that when you're flying a plane, it's hard to feel real fear, because if you panic, you can make stupid mistakes and that can kill you. So it's really important that you keep flying the plane. And brave, I don't know, when I'm in a difficult position, I can't just say I give up. I have to land the plane, right? I'm still flying. You can't just say I'm done. I pause. This is too difficult because you're flying, so you have to keep going and you have to focus and say no. I need to keep going and land.
So you started from Belgium in August. When do you plan to finish your trip around the world?
I should be home in a month and a half, so I'm almost there.
It's interesting that we're conducting this interview in English, but I would prefer to ask you questions in French and receive answers in Russian, for example. Have you thought about learning Russian or any other different languages?
I would like to learn Russian, but apparently it's a very hard language to learn, and so we'll see. When I have the time, I would love to be able to speak Russian. I think it's a really cool language, but it's quite hard, so we will see.
And what is your native language?
English, probably, and French.
Zara, what advice would you give to girls who want to follow your example to become pilots? Then they could also fly around the world.
So for me, I didn't think it'd be possible for me to fly around the world. I think it was impossible. I didn't know if I would be good enough. And actually I tried, and it turns out I can do it. I am over halfway around the world. So you cannot say that you can't do it unless you've tried. You have to try, and you have to keep trying, and you have to keep working, and slowly but surely you will get better, and that is a beautiful thing, right? You get to learn, and flying is such an amazing thing that I believe if that is what you want to do, that is what you are passionate about, then don't let anyone stop you. Just do everything you can in your power to try and make that dream a reality.
How dangerous is it for a woman to fly alone?
For women?
Yes.
Not more dangerous for women than it is for men, yeah. So obviously
Why?
flying, why? I believe men and women fly the same with the same amount of training. So it's about people. Flying is dangerous for people. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. It can be dangerous. Of course, people have accidents sometimes. The important thing is good training, and then anyone can fly.
You've probably heard various jokes about women car driving. What is your attitude to this kind of humor?
Right. Well, it's interesting.
Woman driver
is bad.
With
Right.
bomb.
Well, it's very interesting because we have the same at home. But actually, insurance for boys is more expensive than for girls because men have more accidents than women.
It's interesting.
So yes, although women tend to drive more carefully, they have less accidents than men do.
At the end of our interview, Zara, I would like to ask my favorite question. What is your definition of happiness, and are you happy?
My definition of happiness is, it's hard to say. I mean, everyone is looking for the definition of happiness. I think it's when you're looking forward to the day when you wake up. And yes, I mean, I am definitely looking forward to the day. It's tough sometimes, but it is amazing. It's incredible that I get to do what I'm doing right now, and it's pretty special, yeah.
Thank you for the interview. Take care of yourself, and I wish you a successful landing at home.